What if I told you that women rarely regret sleeping with someone because of the act itself, but because of what comes after? The shift in emotions, the guilt, the way she behaves around you, those little things are what give her away. See, most men assume if she regrets it, she'll come right out and say it. Wrong. Regret almost never comes in words. It shows in actions, silence, or even overcompensation. And once you learn to spot these subtle signals, you'll see them for what they really are. So in today's video, I'll break down 5 ways to tell she regrets sleeping with someone else, even if she tries to act like everything is fine. Pay close attention, because understanding these signs could save you from confusion, wasted energy, and even heartbreak. Let's get into it. Number 1. She becomes emotionally distant. One of the clearest signs is sudden emotional distance. Before, she may have been warm, affectionate, and open, but after sleeping with someone else, regret can hit her like a wall, and when it does, she'll unconsciously pull back. Her texts may get shorter, her energy feels flat, and conversations that once flowed easily now feel forced. It's not always because she doesn't like you anymore, it's because she's carrying guilt. Being around you reminds her of the mistake, so she subconsciously puts up walls to protect herself from facing it. Emotional distance can show up as less eye contact, avoiding deep talks, or even spending more time busy with other things. If you notice that overnight shift from closeness to coldness, don't ignore it. Regret often creates emotional withdrawal, and men who pay attention can spot this shift immediately. Number 2, she overcompensates with kindness. Now here's where it gets tricky. Not all women respond with distance. Some actually swing in the opposite direction. They overcompensate. Suddenly, she's unusually sweet, extra attentive, or doing things she never used to do, almost like she's trying to prove something. Why? Because regret often carries guilt, and guilt seeks balance. By treating you overly well, she's unconsciously trying to mask the weight of what she did. It's her way of making up for crossing a line without actually admitting it. But if you pay attention, this type of kindness often feels forced. It doesn't flow naturally. The timing is suspicious too. The sudden shift happens after a period where something about her behavior already seemed off. If you sense that her niceness is over the top, almost like a cover-up, chances are it's not just random kindness. It's regret working in disguise. Number 3, she avoids talking about that night. Another powerful sign is avoidance. If she regrets sleeping with someone, she'll do everything she can to erase that night from conversation. You might notice she dodges details, changes topics quickly, or gives vague answers when the subject comes up. Regret creates discomfort, and that discomfort shows through silence. Sometimes, she might even get defensive when pressed, acting irritated or brushing it off with, "It's not a big deal." But here's the truth. If it wasn't a big deal, she wouldn't be working so hard to avoid it. Avoidance is a coping mechanism. By not acknowledging it, she convinces herself it didn't matter. But for a man paying attention, that avoidance is the loudest answer. If she can't face the memory, it's because the memory carries regret. Silence doesn't always mean peace. It often means pain. Number 4, her body language betrays her. No matter how much someone tries to hide what they feel, the body always tells the truth. If she regrets sleeping with someone, you'll notice subtle shifts in her body language. Maybe she avoids looking you in the eye when the subject of intimacy comes up. Maybe she fidgets more, crosses her arms, or creates physical distance without realizing it. Regret carries weight, and that weight often shows up as discomfort in physical space. On the flip side, sometimes she may act overly affectionate in public while stiff in private. Again, overcompensation mixed with guilt. The key is in the inconsistencies. If her body language feels disconnected from her words, if she says "I'm fine," but everything about her posture screams tension, you've just uncovered the truth she won't say out loud. Her body becomes the mirror of her regret. Number 5, she questions the relationship. Finally, one of the strongest signs is when she suddenly starts questioning the relationship. This doesn't always mean she'll outright say, "I don't know if this will work." Sometimes it's subtle, asking strange what-if questions, suggesting breaks, or talking about needing space. Why does this happen? Because regret makes her reassess everything. Sleeping with someone else shakes her sense of loyalty, and guilt convinces her that maybe she doesn't deserve you, or that maybe you don't deserve her mistake. So instead of admitting what's really bothering her, she shifts the blame onto the relationship itself. Pay attention to sudden doubt, especially if it comes out of nowhere. Healthy relationships have ups and downs, yes, but when doubt appears right after questionable behavior, it's usually not random. It's regret pushing her to find an escape route. Regret doesn't always announce itself with tears or confessions. More often, it hides in behavior. Emotional distance, overcompensation, avoidance, body language, and sudden doubts about the relationship. If you start noticing these signs, don't dismiss them. Your gut instinct is usually right, and the more you trust what you see instead of just what you hear, the clearer the truth becomes. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss the next upload. And let me know in the comments, have you ever noticed a woman regretting something, even if she didn't admit it? Share your thoughts below. See you in the next video.